You're probably wondering, why did I mount up the doors if one of the doors still looks like this? Welcome back to the Decent Garage. Today we're back on Long Bed Larry. If you watched the last video, we got a ton done. We got a lot of details done on the dash and the interior, and we got our new 35-inch tires on 17-inch wheels installed, and they look awesome. Today we're gonna do a lot of the final details. This is the second to the last video until this thing is complete. So today we should have the grille, the bumpers, the tail lights, the doors, all that on, and it'll look like a full truck by the end of this video. So the first thing we need to do, I haven't finished the wiring for our aftermarket gauges, and I haven't wired our power seats in yet. So let's tackle that real quick, and then we'll do some of the finishing touches that you can see. So the last wire we have to hook up on the gauges is the orange one, which this is for the dimmer. And I've seen a lot of people not know where to put this one. So really, there's a couple places. This fuse right here, fuse 14, there's an orange wire coming out of there, so you can tap into that. There is, I don't know if you can see that, that's the tack signal plug. You can tap into that. Probably the easiest one, and the one I'm going to use, is right here for the cigarette lighter. There is a black and an orange one, so we're going to tap into that orange one, splice it in, solder it, and that'll be our tap for the dimmer power, so that when we turn the headlight switch and dim the gauges, those gauges dim as well. So I've started using a new product on some of my connections like this, because it's just hard to get in here with everything you need. And it's from Solder Stick. It's basically got solder already in it. Oops, we need to put it on. You hit it with a heat gun and it melts the solder, and then these two ends actually melt, and they kind of seal the connection. All right, there we go. That is soldered and not gonna come off. Put this back up here. There we go. So now that we got those gauges wired up, that's pretty much all the wiring. I'm gonna show you guys something that it was too hard to film, but let me describe it to you because I know I'm gonna get questions about it, and it's how to wire up these power seats. So these are 2022 5th gen seats. They're heated, cooled, powered, everything. The heated and cooled is not going to be hooked up quite yet. I don't know how. I'm going to have to figure that out. But hooking up these modern power seats is quite simple. So I've got a red and a black wire right here, okay? And basically what you have to do is get a constant power for your hot lead, and then your ground. So I've got my ground here, but you can ground it anywhere. So you need a constant 12 volt and a ground. That's all you need. So then right there, constant 12 volt ground. I just routed it up through the carpet, and then I tapped into that wire and actually fished a piece of weed eater string through, pulled that line all the way through to the other side. And then you look at the back of the plug and you find the power and the ground wire, and you basically put spade connectors on there and connect it in. It's really that simple. So over here on the passenger side, there you can see weed eater string, just routed it through over the hump, and then it's coming all the way through. And then we'll just have to cut a little hole in over here, pull it up out, and then hook onto that, and then we'll have both power seats hooked up. All right, so there you can see we've got our power and our ground in there. I'm gonna put some loom around that, make it clean so you can't see it, tuck it away. But with that, forward, there's the front up, back up and down, the back of the chair, and I don't know what that is, lumbar probably. That's all there's to it. So I will be doing bed liner in the bed probably in the next video, but for now we're gonna get the tailgate put on, get the tail lights put in, get everything buttoned up in the back, and the final piece will be the rear bumper. So we have our bumpers here for Long Bid Larry. I got these from Keeper Tuned. He actually delivered them to me from Texas personally. So these are in really good shape. They're original bumpers, which is what I wanted for this truck. So I'm gonna clean them up a little bit and we'll get the front one installed right now, back one installed in just a minute. There is just a little bit of surface rust, a couple scratches that I'm not worried about, but for surface rust, a trick I use is wad up a ball of tin foil. Just dip it in some water, no solution or anything, just water, and rub it all on there. And it'll get the surface rust off. Even where there's no surface rust, it'll polish it all up really nice. Look how nice this 35-year-old bumper polished up with a piece of aluminum foil. I was lucky enough to have my brother in town to help hang the doors. So with the help of my brother, we got the doors on, and you're probably wondering, why did I mount up the doors if one of the doors still looks like this? Well, let me show you in detail why that was. So if you've been following along with this build series, you remember that this door was in terrible, terrible shape. It was completely dented in here, had a bunch of holes in it from stud welding it. So the painter asked me, before he painted it, he said, hey, let's mount it up to the truck, and then once it's mounted up, bring it back to the paint shop, because he has some stuff he has to correct. You've probably all noticed this line is off. The door lines are off. So it's pretty well aligned and adjusted, but he's got to do some more body work here to get the lines to match up. So that's what we're gonna do, take it back to him so he can finish some of the details on the paint. I also put a little ding in the other fender when I was mounting the hood, so he'll get that all cleaned up. So here you can see another line that's a little bit off the tailgate. So again, just lots of little lines that he needs to correct, and he knew that was going to be the case going into it. So we got to get it back to him. The problem is it's the weekend, so he's not open. We're going to keep knocking things out, a bunch of little stuff that we can take care of without worrying about the body. So let's start knocking stuff off the list. All little details, but all are going to make the truck come together really quick. So we've got our wiring here in the back to go to the taillights, and we never finished it, so we got to hook up our taillight harnesses, run it up here. I got new taillights to put on, exciting stuff. So before we put the rear bumper on, this rear bumper is in excellent condition, except for back here, just has a ton of surface rust. So I'm gonna wire wheel the whole thing and then treat the rust and put a fresh coat of probably black paint on it. And then we'll flip it over and clean up all the chrome and throw it on the truck. So I want to install the tail lights now. This is where I keep just a bunch of bulbs for these trucks. Not this box, but this one. And let's see. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, just as I thought. So I am one bulb short. The 1157 bulb. So we got to run down to O'Reilly and grab one. Now normally I just hop in the truck and do this, but I had this company reach out to me. Their name is Varla, and honestly, it's a scooter. It's an electric scooter. I never thought I'd be riding one of these, but they reached out to me and I said, heck, why not try it? So they sent me out their Varla Eagle 1 V2, and I gotta say it's pretty dang sweet. This is the bad machine right here. And like I said, it is sweet. I've put maybe 40 miles on it so far. It's got suspension on both the front and the rear. Let's turn it on. Hold it on. It's actually got this NFC card that came with a couple of them. Swipe it there. So I've got 34 miles on it. They actually sent out an extra charger, so it's got dual charging ports to charge it twice as fast. And then also they sent this wider board thing. So normally it's just like a normal electric scooter, normal width, but this thing screws onto the deck, and then you put this, it's like skateboard grip tape, so they sent a couple extra of these as well for the wide one and for the narrow one, and it's dang sweet. I really did this because my kids all have electric scooters, and I was like, why not get one that I can ride with them? And so it's pretty fun. I can stand on here, and then one of my two littlest girls can stand in the front and just hold onto the bar. And actually, they sell a little handlebar that goes on right here for them to hold on to. So I ordered that, and that'll be here shortly. But it's become quite a fun little family vehicle, I guess you could say. So anyways, let's go. It's probably going to be about a 7-mile trip down to O'Reilly Auto Parts, and let's get some bulbs for the rear of Long Bid Larry so we can get the taillights all installed.
You got shocks, pegs. You ever take it off any sweet jumps? You got like 3 feet of air that time.
Got our bulbs. I like to keep an amber set and a clear set on hand. So yeah, this thing is dang sweet. One thing I didn't mention, it's got 5 speeds. So it's on 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. This speed goes 40 miles per hour. So I'm gonna leave it on 5 on the way home. Let's see how it rips. All right, We got our bulbs. Let's put our lights in and put our tail lights in. All right, so in the name of fine-tuning some details, before I put the shift boots on, the transmission shifts great, but here's the deal. When I come down into second, it's close to hitting the console. Come down into fourth, it hits it. Come down into reverse, it hits it. So what I want to do, I'm going to pull the shifter and basically right here bend it just a few degrees to get the shifter about right here, because I do like how close it is to reach for it, but I want it to be just about right there. Getting the right bend in the shifter is a very delicate and skilled process. We got just the slightest little bend in it down here. Now reverse. Perfect. I like when it gets close to the console, but I didn't want it to hit it. Oh, that's perfect. Before we take it to the painter, I actually want to put all my sound deadener inside the doors, because why not? I have nothing to do. The paint shop's not open today, so let's get some sound deadener thrown in there. See if we can't change that sound a little bit. All right, the trailer is empty. Long Bid Larry is back at the paint shop to get that door painted, get some of the lines fixed, and get a few things fixed that I screwed up when I was mounting up the doors and all that, but it shouldn't take too long to fix. Behind you guys is the ultimate American truck build back in the garage, and we are all hands on deck on that build. So we'll be back in the next video with the ultimate American truck build.